At the White House Correspondents' event in Washington, D.C., a routine evening of high-profile networking was shattered by gunfire. An active shooter opened fire inside the venue, directly targeting President Trump and his senior administration officials. Secret Service agents swarmed the area in seconds, evacuating the President, First Lady Melania, and Vice President J.D. Vance. One officer was lightly injured after their protective vest absorbed a direct hit, but the President walked away with his fist raised. The shooter, 31 software developer Cole Thomas Allen, was neutralized at the scene. While the FBI found no connection to foreign terror regimes, recent data from 2024 and 2025 shows a specific increase in political violence among men under 30 on the political left. This attack is part of a measurable shift in domestic security. For the Trump administration, the primary threat is no longer just coming from overseas. The commander-in-chief is now facing physical vulnerability within his own borders. But the administration cannot turn its focus entirely inward. Even as they manage the fallout of an assassination attempt, the Middle East is on the verge of a regional war. The highly publicized 3-week extension to the Israel-Lebanon ceasefire, a cornerstone of recent U.S. diplomacy, is rapidly unraveling. Hezbollah has openly defied the truce, launching explosive drones toward civilian communities in the western Galilee and forcing the military to respond. This creates a dangerous friction for Washington. As the U.S. attempts to project global stability, its adversaries are actively testing its breaking point on multiple fronts simultaneously. In response to the drone attacks, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu officially ordered the IDF to launch vigorous strikes against Hezbollah targets throughout Lebanon. On the ground, paratroopers and infantry units are moving into southern Lebanon to eliminate ready-to-fire launchers and neutralize militants before they can target Israeli forces. These military operations support a broader joint strategy between the U.S. and Israel. The goal is to drive a political wedge between the militant group and the rest of the Lebanese population. By intensifying the pressure on Hezbollah, the administration is attempting to empower alternative Shia voices to claim the Lebanese government. The strategy rests on a single premise, that long-term security cannot be won through military force alone. It requires an internal political shift within Lebanon to finally break Hezbollah's grip on power. Much of this instability leads back to Iran. Tehran used the recent ceasefire periods to rearm Hezbollah, shipping weapons and supplies to rebuild the group's capabilities after months of fighting. This regional map outlines the specific logistics. Iran moves weapons through covert smuggling routes in Syria before they terminate in southern Lebanon. To counter this, the Trump administration has shifted toward a diplomatic freeze. The president recently canceled a high-stakes negotiation trip to Islamabad as a direct retaliation for Iranian escalation. Top negotiators Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner are grounded, stalling all talks regarding Iran's nuclear program and control of the Strait of Hormuz. Freezing these talks is a calculated signal to Tehran. The U.S. is demonstrating that it will not continue diplomatic negotiations while Iranian proxies are actively waging war. Despite the stall in diplomacy, the administration maintains a confident posture. President Trump recently asserted that the U.S. currently holds all the cards in the negotiation. This confidence stems from U.S. energy dominance. Washington can rapidly scale up domestic oil and LNG production, insulating the American economy from global shocks. In contrast, Iran's infrastructure is highly vulnerable. By squeezing their oil exports, the U.S. is forcing Tehran to stockpile crude, physically damaging their wells and causing the regime to economically buckle. The U.S. is betting on a contest of economic pain. The administration expects the Iranian regime to reach a financial breaking point long before American consumers feel a significant rise in energy prices. There is one final complication. Internal political friction within Israel is threatening the very leadership executing this regional counteroffensive. Israeli President Isaac Herzog is quietly seeking mediation for Prime Minister Netanyahu's ongoing corruption trial. Herzog is pushing for a negotiated settlement to protect public trust in the judiciary, even as he resists pressure from President Trump to issue a full pardon. By April 2026, the White House is managing a multi-front crisis. Domestic assassination attempts, unraveling foreign ceasefires, and the internal political struggles of its closest allies have converged. Stabilizing the Middle East now requires the U.S. to maintain a relentless grip on its diplomatic and economic leverage, even as the reality of political violence reaches the president's own doorstep.